enable Theo streamer mode.
What's up, everyone? Theo here, and today we're diving straight into the Crystal Cave on Ruthless difficulty. Why run this map? Two massive reasons. Number 1, unlock survival mode so you can farm ethereal ancient pets. Absolute beast for any assault hero. Number 2, grab one of the hardest hitting DPS apprentice weapons in the game, the Crystal Cane. No more stalling, let's crush this map. Okay, so I have no idea where that came from. Oh, I mean, I do have an idea. I'm typing up the script for my intro, and I let AI turn it into a streamer friendly. And I guess I just imagine that's how streamers talked. So we're going to run around here and grab up all the mana before we start building. If you don't have speed, you're not making those jumps. I have the speed, so I'm making the jumps. And that's our last treasure chest of mana. Now we're going to go ahead and place an ensnare and a strength drain aura. Right there. We'll swap over to our EV. We're going to place a single 4DU buff beam. I go from the crystal that way. It's just basically pointing right at the chest. I mean at the spawn. At the forge. And for the rest of this are hermit towers. Seed bombs. Nature's Pylon, a mushroom, and a golem. So I'm going to have 3 seed bombs pointing in that direction, 3 in that direction, 3 in the other direction, and 3 more in the other direction. So basically you're pointing 3 seed bombs at the 4 paths. Then we'll put a Nature's Pylon, a mushroom spore, and a golem. And that is it. That is the build, and that build comes to us from Blank. Blank in Germany, of course. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Tower Boost Monk. And I point in this direction for my Tower Boost Monk. And I point in the other direction for my Adept Upgrader. And so I'm going to go ahead and start our upgrade process. And my Tower Boost Monk is going to stand on top of the Golem the entire time. Even during the boss fights, because the bosses won't get up there to hit him. And he'll just be, in the safety of the Golem's head. I will say it does feel a bit awkward not having apprentice towers out there. But it's kind of interesting. They just don't make much sense on this specific map. And this map will always have slow harbingers at the very end. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. And by deal with, I mean something you're just going to have to wait for. Unless you run around and DPS them, they just take their sweet time coming out. Now for this map, it doesn't make sense to have all 4 heroes in. It doesn't seem to quicken up the pace. I know some maps are faster with 4 players than 2. I've done this map multiple different ways, and I found going 2 all the way to the very last wave was faster than having 4 in the entire time. So that is why we're just going with 2 heroes. So I'm going to continue to upgrade, and when it's time for me to bring in a different hero, I will come back. Alright, we're getting near the end of this. Everything is upgraded. So I'm going to be swapping out of my Adept Upgrader, and I'm going to be bringing in a Summoner. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Floor. And she has 2 Huntress Guardians. And that'll boost 12 towers, which will boost all of the C-bombs, hopefully. And the goal is I just want my towers to shoot faster, and that's why I'm bringing her in. Now, obviously, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, and just have just 2 regular heroes. You could run around with your Tower Boost Monk, and then run around with your DPS hero, kind of just running around killing things if you want. I just went the Guardian Summoner route, and she's only going to be in for just Wave 17 and Wave 18, and then we'll be swapping her out and bringing in 3 Apprentices, because the goal of running this map is to get as many Crystal Canes as possible, because that's what we want. So we're going to make sure we have 3 Apprentices / Adepts in at the very end so that we can get those 3 weapon rewards. You're going to have a Tower Boost Monk in regardless, whether you're doing this on campaign or you're doing this on survival. So I'm doing this on campaign for this video. I've also do this Wave 32 to 35 on survival, and I find that survival's the better route to go. You'll still get your 3 Crystal Canes, but you'll also get the Chromatic Gemstones if you want some some builder pets. And it's faster, and you're not having to deal with the bosses. That would be the way I would go if I wanted to farm Crystal Canes. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my next Apprentice, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in this Apprentice as well. So it's my Upgrader Adept. Now, obviously, they are not going to have any special Guardian on there to help. I could put one on there if I wanted. I don't like swapping out pets if I don't have to. So, the heroes I'm going to have in on the last wave will be my Tower Boost Monk, and then I'm going to have 2 Apprentices. They're my DPS Apprentices, and both of them are going to have Huntress Guardians on. And then I'm going to have my Adept Upgrader. And all of them are just going to hang out on the island away from all the action. So let me go ahead and swap over to to Catterley. And Catterley is sporting a Huntress Guardian. So we'll get this wave started. And then I'm going to start moving all of my heroes over to the island for protection. Yep, so we're just going to jump over here. I'm going to move them all over there. Now that's still close enough to the towers that the Huntress Guardian is helping them. And so that's why we kind of just hang out right over here. Now with my other DPS Apprentice, I'm just going to go ahead and run around. I'm going to collect some mana. And, I might shoot some things because, hey, I'm a DPS Apprentice, right? But I have enough mana. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and hang out over here. Just close enough to our towers that we're able to buff the speed of those towers, and that's going to help when we get to the bosses. It's going to help defeat the bosses, and we're going to be all the way over here. Bosses aren't coming over here, so we'll be alive. Our Tower Boost Monk is going to be perfectly fine and alive over there as well. And so now we're just waiting for that last Harbinger to come over here and die. And now it's time for some bosses. And these bosses are basically 4 heroes. And so the goal is to let the towers kill the bosses. So my Tower Boost Monk is tower boosting. He's still pointing in the same direction. I've gone into first person mode with my my DPS Apprentice, and I am going to try to help this along. You do not have to do this at all. I'm doing it just because I want to. And I don't even know if I'm hitting them at all. I have no idea if I'm even helping that at all. But I am just shooting off in that general direction, and you can see all of the bosses are just hanging around the bottom of my Tower Boost Monk. They're not even touching him. They're just playing, they're just playing around while the Golem just ignores them and doesn't care. But you can see we're down to, down to the last one. And in my experience, it's always, it's always the Apprentice. That's the last hero left of the bosses. The other bosses just run at the Golem and just stand there and just die. The Apprentice likes to bounce around, or he'll jump in the lava and then get respawned back So the apprentice is usually the last of the boss heroes I'm waiting to die. And I'm shooting at him with my other apprentice, hoping I'm doing something to speed this along. But he will eventually die to the towers. And there you go. That is it. Pretty chill. This is on Ruthless difficulty, so pretty chill. Nothing to worry about. And all your heroes are protected and safe over there. So let's go ahead and see what we got. We didn't get what we wanted. We wanted some nice crystal canes. It didn't happen this time, but maybe it'll happen for you. When we look at our times, this is a pretty quick map, 7.5 minutes. I don't know if that's considered good or not, but for me, any campaign that's under 10 minutes is always a good thing for me. I do believe running this on survival 32 to 35, you're looking at maybe a total time of 8 minutes. That's why I think it's probably best to do that than go the campaign route. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and happy farming.